What is going on, everyone? Matthew97657 here, and today we are back with yet another figure unboxing and review. And as the title and thumbnail suggests, this is going to be the Shin Japan Heroes Universe Robo, I believe what it's called, a Robo combiner figure unboxer and review. So with that being said, nothing more to it than to get right on into it. And I'm not going to waste too much time because I don't know how long this one is going to take me here. But once again, this is the Shin Japan Heroes Robo. So obviously, Shin Japan Heroes, if you are unaware or unfamiliar, it's pretty much the Shin series that they had with their movies. And then they decided to make a giant robot slash like combiner with them. So it's very, very cool. I did purchase the Chinese version, not the Japanese version, because I think the Japanese version I was looking at sold out. But nonetheless, it should still be that same figure. So there we had our bubble wrap there. And here it is. Once again, as you can see by the box, SJHU, Shin Japan Heroes Universe Project. And then it probably says like robots or something like that. So yeah, this is the box, although this seems to be in Japanese. Yeah, I would say I'm pretty sure we'll just see the language differentiation whenever I open the box. So I'm gonna get right to it. Just very nice clean cut. Once again, very nice clean cut. That one didn't really go through. There we go. And so yeah, I mean, dang, how long has it been? It's been quite a while since the legitimate review. Or not review, sorry, the reveal of this. I want to say it was last year around this time, maybe around May if I'm correct. Probably around the time that Shin Kamen Rider was coming out. But anyways, we have finally got it. Here it is. As you can see, there's a little bit of a protective film there. So we're gonna just drop the box and then get rid of our other box. And yep, so it looks like I'm just gonna tear into this and reveal it. So there it is. That's our box there. As you can see, it's got all of them combined there. So that just looks super, super cool. I don't want to call it a novelty item, but I think it's just so cool how they decided to do all this, right? So as you can see, we have like Godzilla, Ultraman, the Evangelion Unit 01, and then there's Kamen Rider up there, and then you can see their respective things. So on the side here, it looks like we have some very cool stock promo images. So what does it say? Shin Japan World or Shin Japan Heroes? Yeah, Shin Japan Heroes. Obviously you have Godzilla, Ultraman, Evangelion, and then Kamen Rider once again. And then that's the top. Probably just says like robot or something. And then on here we have all the film titles. So obviously I want to say this is in theatrical order. Godzilla, Eva, Ultraman, Kamen Rider once again. And then last but not least, the actual back side of the box is actually really, really nice. It has some really good detail in the artwork there just for what this figure is. So, all right, we've already gone through 3 minutes and we haven't gone to the figure yet, but alas, we will be getting there. And I probably will be doing a series of jump cuts only because technically it's 4 different figures, if I'm correct. So here we have that. More to be done. All right, so we are back here. We do have all of our individual heroes here. So just wanted to go ahead and go through them briefly. Not too long, obviously, because we have a lot of video to go through. But first off, we'll start off with Godzilla here. And it's kind of just a standard, right? You see it kind of like it's a hard plastic type of build meant for transforming pieces. And then I think realistically, you can actually open them out too, which is kind of cool. So very cool, nothing too crazy. For a quick comparison, we're gonna go ahead and do the Bandai Shin Godzilla mold back from 2016 just to see the two. They're pretty much about the same height, give or take, but obviously the Bandai is a lot longer because it can afford to be a lot longer, right? So with that, yep, that's pretty much Godzilla there. Next up, we'll go on towards the Evangelion Unit 01 here. And pretty simple, limited articulation range, nothing too crazy. If you wanted to like move them around and stuff, same with the knees there. Or the legs, sorry, and going into the knees there, you see them bend, and also a little bit of a foot swivel as well. So no crazy articulation, obviously, because it's meant to transform into something different. You do also, however, get these pieces of hands here. They're kind of just like more of an open palm hand type of style, so very cool. And then the other accessory you do get with it is the AT field right here. And so simply enough, all you need to do is grab your little stand piece with a little peg, plug it in, and that's really it. I mean, you can have it just as you like, right? Kind of just okay, I put on the wrong hand, funnily enough. But you can kind of just have the AT field kind of there, right? So it's very cool, nonetheless. So that's pretty much it for the Evangelion unit. And then let's go ahead. Oh, I knocked down Hongo. Anyways, we have Ultraman, kind of the same build as the Evangelion unit, besides obviously the notable features. You have your articulation in terms of these type of figures. It's got kind of the same type of deal, a little bit more deeper of a knee joint bend, and then obviously a foot joint as well. And then kind of like Evangelion 1, Unit 01, sorry. This one actually does come with accessories as well. And these are just an extra set of hands for doing the Spacium beam. So pretty simple. We have our other stand and we have our Spacium beam here. As you can see, it's kind of like rigid along some corners. So all you got to do is just plug it in to the stand there. And from there, you can kind of just do its thing. It looks kind of funny because it's like, it's not like meant for this, I would say, right? But it's not like ideally meant for it all. But you can still do it. So it's still pretty cool nonetheless, right? So yeah, so that's that. And last but not least, we do have Takeshi Hongo on the Cyclone here. We do have a little piece of acrylic plastic to hold it on the bottom there. You see that black portion there. And yep, here it is. Just on the Cyclone, there's no form of articulation for the figure. You cannot take it out besides when you need to transform it in this area. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the Cyclone there. And yeah, that is our quick comparison. Forgot to do the other Bandais, so I will go ahead and just do that now. So once again, Evangelion Unit 01. Just a quick comparison with their Bandai counterparts. Thank you. And then we'll go ahead and just do Ultraman because it doesn't really make sense to do it with our Takeshi Hongo on the Cyclone. But yeah, very cool nonetheless. So with that, guys, we are going to go ahead and start getting these heroes transformed. So I will see you guys within this quick tutorial and see how it turns out. Here we go.
Okay, so first up, what you want to do is you want to put the arms back, take off the dorsal plates, take off the tail, take off the foot on obviously both of them you see there, and then you're going to want to put the head back, lean the neck forward just as seen there, and then you're going to want to take out those kind of shoulder pieces and lift up the pegs forward or up if you want to see it like that as well. And then with that, go ahead and take out the little thigh pieces and push down that abdomen piece to reveal the red and the green. So going on to the tail, we're going to go ahead and split the tail and then put it all the way back as you can. You're going to want to connect both of those pieces there as you see from the back to the tail piece. Just kind of gently put it in. Next up, you want to lift up that little peg up there and make sure that it is lifted up for the future. Next up to the Evangelion unit, you're going to go ahead and take off the shoulder pads there as I'm doing so on screen. Then you're going to take out the body. You're going to want to lift the back, as funny as it sounds. You're going to want to push that peg in the other direction, lift that piece out, and then you're going to have that hand piece for the final transformation. You're going to want to take that hand piece. It's a little bit hard to get out, but it is possible. Anyways, next up, you want to be really important and make sure you do this correctly. So you kind of want to line up the articulation joints and the way that it's seen there. So as you can see, I kind of have it there. I stop, I point, and then I push in, and then from there I push all the way in, push the arms up, and then from there you'll be able to get them encapsulated within that back piece, just as seen on the screen. Next up, the legs here, pretty simple. There's two pegs that you want to lift up from the left leg of the Evangelion unit. As you can see on the right, there's the holes for them. You just connect them, simple as that. You'll probably hear a click. A lot of these things you'll hear a click. On the heel piece here, or foot heel piece, you want to swing those the opposite direction. Make sure everything's clicked in together. And then that black peg piece, as seen there, you want to make sure that you have that all the way up, and you will hear a click whenever that is done, right? So it'll be firm just like that. Next up, Ultraman. Sorry, moving fast, right? Next up, Ultraman. Kind of the same deal as the Eva. Open the back piece. Make sure that peg piece is in the other direction, not facing down. And see, you can't close it. That's correct there. You want to flip out that piece there. And then once again, like the EVA unit, there's a hand piece that you're going to have to kind of dig your way to get in there. It's kind of tough, but possible once again. Same thing with the EVA, kind of with the arms. Make sure that they are in that correspondence area. That was the easiest way for me to do it. The instructions, it was a little bit harder for me to follow, but I still managed to do it this way, where you fold in, fold the arms, and then tuck it in into the back plating piece, right? So with that, you can close that there, and then boom. Next up, kind of the same deal. We have the 2 pegs on the leg, and kind of like the EVA unit, 2 holes on the other side for that. However, my Ultraman one did kind of struggle to stay connected, as we'll see in the future here. So I'm going to go ahead and connect these pieces, the black piece and those 2 peg pieces there. And I once again struggled, so I went ahead and took off the feet because mine were kind of like a little bit struggling. So I had to flip that piece forward, make it click, and then from there I just kind of force it, and then I put the feet back on. Next up is the Kamen Rider. This one's kind of hard, but it's kind of easy. So you flip them up. You want to go ahead and take the muffler pieces to the side there, and then you just want to flip them up to where you can see the magnetic wheel close to the rider's feet. And then from there, funnily enough, you just want to push down, and you'll hear a click on this left wheel. As you can see, just push down, but not like pushing down. You want to push the flap down. And then once you have both those flaps down, it'll look something like that there, kind of have space in between, and then you kick that front wheel to the back, and then you just push down on the Kamen Rider, and there you can see the head of the robot there. And then from there, now we start to get to assembling it. So you can assemble the Ultraman leg and the Godzilla foot. As you can see, mine, like I said earlier, does have a little bit of trouble connecting, but it is still very possible to be done. Next up is the Evangelion piece, and as you can see, the feet are on the opposite side of the front part of the robot. So pretty simple there, just getting it all connected. Very simple. Next up, we have our Godzilla piece. Simple enough, right? You're gonna go ahead and connect the legs to the thighs, and then should be able to stand up very nice. Next up, we do have our arm pieces, which is the Evangelion unit we're going to start off with. That peg we started off with the Godzilla is going to just gently slide in or just push in. Same with the Ultraman piece here. Once again, I have a little bit of trouble, but it's not too hard. All you got to do is make sure that it pegs in very, very nice. And as you can see, those arms from earlier are the hands, right? And then you can flip the heads towards the viewer side. And last but not least, as you can see, you're going to go ahead and put on the robot's head, which is the Cyclone in a sense. And mine's a little bit hard to put on. It doesn't want to stay in place too well. As you can see there, it looks a little bit better. But onto the AT field, you want to make sure that that one peg on top just very nicely rests upon the Godzilla head. There's a little indent there. But going on to the accessories here, we have the extra part to the AT field, which just clicks in very nicely to the Evangelion unit. And I just wanted to make sure all of my pieces were intact, so I close it up because if you want to articulate it, they kind of start to pop out. Next up to the tail, this is probably the hardest part. There's a little black peg in there, as you can see with my tweezers, and that one is extremely hard to get out. I couldn't get it out with my fingers, so I got the tweezers. I just gently pried it out, and you can see here that it is out right there. Simple enough. You just want to put the Spacium beam into the insert slot, and then that one peg piece will just kind of gently fit inside of Ultraman's hand. And with that, I'll see you guys in the final review.
All right, and so here we have the fully assembled Shin Japan Heroes Universe robot. Fully assembled, as you can see here. Hopefully my tutorial was helpful. I know it's a little bit sped up, but it was about to be like 8 minutes worth of footage, but I was able to trim it down a little bit, and hopefully the voice recording helps as well. Had to record that separately, first time. Anyways, as you can see here, this is pretty much the assembled thing, and honestly, there's a lot going on with this one. Obviously, right, you're combining 4 different heroes together, but it's cool to see how all the parts actually do like intertwine with one another. So I guess to kind of get a little bit of a lower view, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the AT field piece because it usually just falls out like that. But on closer inspection here, there is the Shin Godzilla head as kind of like the chest piece, if you will. And then for our arms, we do have the Evangelion Unit 01 and Ultraman as well. We have the AT shield. Well, yeah, I guess I call it the AT shield. It's AT field shield, really. And then for our weapon of choice, they decided to give the Spacium a Godzilla dorsal plate hilt holder, if you want to call it that. but very, very interesting design choice. Very cool though, nonetheless, right? And as you can see, we did have the Godzilla tail split. I wonder why they decided to go that route. It doesn't look like wings. It kind of just looks like a giant crest, which looks cool. But yeah, and then on top there, you see the Kamen Rider on the Cyclone, and you can see it's a little bit more like out there with the muffler pieces there. It's very, very cool. And then obviously you can see the robot's head right above Godzilla and right below the Cyclone there. So yeah, I mean, this is it pretty much, the Shin Japan Heroes robot, if I'm correct. And I mean, there's just a lot of stuff happening here, obviously, right? We have the colors here with the red, the green, with our little abdomen pieces, and then obviously the legs of Ultraman and the Evangelion unit make up the legs of the robot itself, combined with the Godzilla feet. So there is a lot of things happening. And then let's go ahead and put this piece back on real quick. It just kind of nicely sits there whenever it's kind of just standing up. You can't articulate it, but it's a little hard, I'm not gonna lie. But there you go, you see the back pieces of the feet and the legs of our other units. And then there's the tail. Whoa, he's leaning back a little bit. There's a tail, and then a continuation of the Godzilla stuff, and then obviously the back of the Cyclone. So yeah, I mean, you can get it to like articulate. It's a little bit tricky though, because like there's a lot of different pieces. You can honestly move up, but if you want to move like up too much, then the piece kind of like comes apart with the body. But like that, for example, right? You can do that. I don't think so. I don't think I would do it at the very least. I just kind of want it in a, a neutral standing pose, which just looks cool, right? Boom, boom. Something like that, right? You can kind of like push forward just a little bit. Not too much though. Yeah, it's kind of limited in posability, obviously, because it's like there's so many things that are attached to one another, and they kind of like jumble with one another. But I mean, you can get a pretty good wide stance pose there. You can raise the sword up if you like, and see there, you see how Ultraman's actually like coming apart there. Like if you wanted to do that, you could. It just looks a little bit awkward, but I don't know. I think this is insanely cool. Like you get some really cool shots with it. I mean, they made a whole dang suit for it, so that in itself is just crazy. Like they went all out with this, and they surely did not pull any stops on the figure as well. So whoa. Last but not least, let me just do a quick comparison of the Bandai figures that we had done earlier. I will go over the instructions once again as I begin to wrap up this review. Whoa, flew out of my hands there. But this is the Amusement World Bandai exclusive that they had last year in 2023. And as you can see, this is a 6-inch figure, and it's standing at about probably like 9 to 10 centimeters if I hadn't already said that. But yeah, so there's Godzilla there. Next up, we'll do the Evangelion unit, right? Once again, just a quick comparison. Like we did with the base figures. But I mean, this thing kind of was a little bit of trouble to learn, but honestly, it's not too bad, especially with Ultraman and the Evangelion unit being kind of similar in terms of their transformations. Godzilla is really easy, if I had to be completely honest. And then Kamen Rider was a little bit hard for me to understand, and then I finally understood that I was reading one of the directions before the other one. So that is why I had a little bit of trouble. But besides that, it actually comes together fairly well, if I'm being 100% honest. It's a really nice set piece. If you are a fan of all of these movies, or even just a fan of the giant Robo itself. And yeah. Sorry, I was talking a lot there. Now I kind of just like steamed out. But yeah, I mean, that's, I guess, the only real comparison I can do. And once again, I'm going to bring up the box again because, dang, that artwork is just so freaking cool there. As you can see, kind of the spot that they have it in. Very, very dynamic. Very awesome. So with that, guys, I think I am going to wrap it up here. This has been a long video. Probably one of the harder ones for me to make and put a lot more effort into. So I hope you guys appreciate that. But as always, let me know what you guys think of the Shin Japan Heroes Robo suit that we have here. Were you guys a fan of it when you saw the short film, or was it a little bit too much for your liking? But irregardless, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think as always, and I will see you guys within the next video. See ya!